Hey, Shalom, I want to start off as always by giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth, while sincerity. Just a real quick one, laws will be edifying. It was just, obviously Kanye West has been in the news really since he said what he said. I just want to, go off the fact, basically, Jake is through, man. Jake is destroyed. And, so it says Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also will reject thee. Right. So that goes into two things there. Right. Jake is destroyed because they haven't got any knowledge. Right. But then the second part is, the Lord has set up his men, on the street corners, prophesying, telling Jake, hey, you're going off. Right. But Jake don't want to hear. Let me get this real quick. So Isaiah 58 from the top says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins, which is what we do, right? Week in, week out, through the power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai, right? We call out, the wickedness of our people, the wickedness of our enemies, right? In the hope that, Jake could be saved, in the hope that we could, basically that Jake could wake up, right? But we know that, the majority of Jake ain't gonna wake up. In America, the scriptures tell you 2/3 will not make it. Right? So it goes on to say, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. Right? So basically, when we'll be breaking things down to them, and they don't want to hear us. Right? They'll see the sign and they won't want to. They won't want to eat it. Whereas, look what the scripture says here. It says Ezekiel 3:4 says, and he said unto them, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Right? Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Right? And we see that, we'll have the sign there, and then, you get a Jake who see themselves in the sign, and then the first thing they got to ask is, what about the so-called white man? That's the first thing that's on their mind, right? Instead of saying, so I'm on their sign, so what does this mean? What is the relevance of this? What is the meaning of this? How is this information of use to me? Right, so they just flat out rejected. Then we'll tell them, look, man, you're going to be a king, a ruler, but they ain't happy because their master, daddy Esau, ain't there, right? So it says that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I also will forget thy children, right? So when these guys shall be calling on the Lord, the Lord's going to say, hey, I have not known thee, right? This is Jeremiah 4:22 says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children, and they have none understanding, they are wise to do evil. Yeah, Jake, right, Israelite man, can break down the best way of storing marijuana, selling it, or best way of scheming on a man's woman and all of that, right? But when it comes to doing the good, they don't want to know, right? Jake will be hella creative to do some wickedness, right? But to do righteousness, they don't want to know, right? So, but to do good, they have no knowledge, right? This is Isaiah 3:12 is what I want to. Is what listening to the Apostle Ramlav's video, the way he linked these two precepts up, right? It says Isaiah 3:12 says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead. Well, okay, there's 2 points in here as well. Right, I'll touch on the first one. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Right, and you basically see then the way that Esau has flipped things upside down. Right, it's no longer the man who's the head of the household. It's Esau has, especially in the Jake household, where it's the woman, right? The mom, the Jake mom, which is what all of the Jake kids are through. Right, look at London. Right, you got a whole lot of gremlins running around London. They're coming, predominantly from single parent households. And if they're not coming from single parent households, they're coming from households right, where the man isn't, you know, fulfilling the role of a man. Therefore, he's just going around doing whatever madness, right? So let me get the curses as well. What was that, 56? Right, it says Deuteronomy 28:56 says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, right? So not only is she, you know, basically assuming the role of a man, right, being the head of the house, quote unquote, right, but then she also has this evil that she has towards her, you know, her children that she has. Once again, going on the fact, you know, explaining, you know, why these jakes are through, right? So we read that again, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them, right? And the precept that the apostle brought out here was Sirach 42:12 says, behold, not everybody's beauty, right? So I've read that as if there was a comma there. It says, behold, not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women, right? But here, you know, we read, and close that, we read, would you call it, women rule over them, right? But then it goes on to say here, for from garments cometh the moth, and from women wickedness, right? So that's explaining to you why all these jakes are through and wicked, doing all forms of heinous, you know, just wickedness in general, right? It says, O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths, right? So it goes into the fact that, you know, Jake's leaders are through. Jake's leaders are wicked, right? You know, it's a lot. It says, what was I saying? Yeah, okay, so read it. They which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths, right? You've got all of these Christian pastors that are, you know, they're just charlatans, right? They're making our people, you know, do all kind of madness, right? You've also got, you know, these so-called Israelite groups where, would you call it, where basically they're keeping parts of the doctrine, removing things that are of importance. You know, certain groups, you know who I'm talking about, remove the name. Other groups are like, nah, the mark of the beast is not the chip. You know, basically they go into ways that just basically lead to destruction, right? But that's why we here at GreatMillStone, we got to be grateful, one, that the Lord has led us, which could led us to this path that we're on, Lord willing remain, right? And also for the apostles that the Lord has set up over us, right? This is Matthew 13. I'm gonna start from verse 15. It says, for this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I shall heal them. So what I was going on into is the fact that, then that's quoting Isaiah 9, I believe. What does it say? It's quoting Isaiah 6 and 10. So that's it, right? 6 and 9, and then 10 here, right? Going into the fact that the Lord has made it such that some people are going to get this truth and some aren't, and the Lord, you know, is going to actually blind people not to get it, right? Because, you know, he doesn't want them to be converted and healed, which is why you see a whole load of multitudes in IUIC, you know, all of these other Israelite camps. You know, that's why you see a whole load of Jake in Christianity now, and Islam, or whatever madness, even atheism. Well, that's why you see Jake going into all of these different things, right? Because the Lord didn't want them, right? Yeah, but here, look what it says. Matthew 13:16 says, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Right, so we're blessed, you know, that the Lord has allowed us, you know, to be on this side, to be under the apostles, right? So that we can, you know, we hear the quote-unquote rape doctrine. We don't buck up. We don't get offended. Well, we hear about the mark of the beast, and we have faith. We see the 12 tribes sign. We have faith, right? Right, says 1 Timothy 5:17 says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine, right? And the apostles have labored, man, Apostles have been pushing a word longer than I've been alive. Most of the brothers, Apostle Tah's been, laboring longer than most brothers in the GMS London camp have been alive. Right? Which is why, like, going back to this, that's why you got to be grateful that you can get it. Right? Because the majority of our people are they're being led to destruction. Right? So I read that. Right, this is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee." Right, and if you don't have the heritage, you don't have the Hebrew, you don't have the name of the Lord. Right, and you read Acts 4:12. Right, it says, "Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name given among men whereby we must be saved." Right, so to be saved, you have to know the name of the Lord and the name of his Son. Right, the name of the Lord is Yahweh, the name of his Son is Yahweh Shai. Right, and through those names you can be saved. Right, but because Israel has discontinued, right, they're going to be destroyed. Right, it says, "And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, and which shall burn forever." Right, so which is why Jacob is in the condition that they're in, which is why Israel was in captivity since 1620 to 1970, and still still in captivity up till this day. Right, this is Micah 3 from the top. Says, "And I said, Hear, I pray you. Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know no judgment?" Right, so basically, ain't you supposed to know what it says on the 10? It says, "Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off the skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron." Right, basically going into the fact that they, which called a precept of this, they which lead thee cause thee to err. Right, they'll these Israelite, so-called Israelite leaders will be taking the name of the Lord out of it. Right, they'll be taking the 12 tribe sign, saying we don't know. They'll be taking the Hebrew out. Right, basically putting you into that dead state. Right, let me get that in Proverbs. Right, so Proverbs 21:16 says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead." Right, but let me just close with this. Right, is Ezekiel. Ezekiel 4. Sorry, I thought I was reading something else. Let me just close with this. Going back to what I was saying earlier on about you got to be, we're grateful that we're under the men that we are under, right? Because through their work, and obviously it's through the power of Yahweh, but it's through their work that the Lord has put the skin back on our body, right? He's breathed his breath into us, and for that cause, Lord willing, we have hope of being saved. Right, Ezekiel 37:4 says, "Again he said unto me, Prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh power unto these bones. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live." Right, and I said that's the apostles, and their elders before them. Then we have through the power of Yahweh Shai carried on the mantle. Right, that's why we're out there diligently. Right, it says, "And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live. Ye shall know that I am Yahweh." Right, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Right, so I prophesied as he commanded, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Right, so which is what we're doing. We're, through the power, we're trying to, we're out there. Obviously, we can't save ourselves, we can't save any man, right? But we hope that, we prophesy out to the wind, and, men, can hear and wake up, and if they're of the elect, can, come into the fold, right? Well, that's why we do the work, in the hope that, help get Israel out of this destroyed state, because Israel, like I said, is through. Right, you had, Kanye is not the first person, which, I've not watched the full interview, and, people are saying that basically what the point he was trying to make was the fact that, Israel's still in slavery today. He obviously didn't say Israel, but the point he was trying to make is, they're still in slavery today, which is true, right? And the only one who's going to take us out of that is is Yahushua through the power of his Father. And let me just end on that. It says Zephaniah 3:8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, right? And that's all we got to do. All we got to do is wait. People like to come, oh, what are you doing about it? Hey, I'm waiting, homie, right? Saith the Lord, says, until the day that I rise up to the prey, because you can't fight Esau. Right, so that's why you need the Lord to basically set something up. Right, he's gonna do the fighting for us. Right, it says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, righteous anger, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right, so the point I wanted to make in that one is, therefore wait ye upon me. Right, so Lord's will you are edified. Until the next time, Shalom.